Well, the first thing I want to say is good morning. And the second thing is that you have demonstrated that discipline and punctuality, which are two essential qualities of leadership, is evident this morning. You told me you'd start at 10, and I'd be out before 11, and that's the condition in which I came. Colleagues, Madam Administrator, distinguished Reverend gentlemen, ladies, young people of Grand Bahama, good morning again. I'm happy to join the opening ceremony of the Marco City Youth Leadership Institute for senior students and to share with you some lessons of leadership which I gained from my own experience and from my observance and interaction with other leaders here in the Bahamas and abroad. But first things first, I want to commend Shivago Lang, Member of Parliament for Marco City and Minister of State for Finance, for launching this program for high school students here in Grand Bahama. It is always important that we begin to identify future leaders and expose them to experiences that will help to sharpen and build their skills. This program facilitates interaction between young people and professionals throughout the Bahamas, as you would have seen from the video presentation. It includes practical training in a number of important areas: goal setting and planning, interpersonal skills, college preparation, effective communication, decision-making, job search and work performance, starting a business, and financial management. Last year, I'm told, some 41 students participated in the program, and it was my pleasure to receive those participants in the Cabinet Office in Nassau. And during our discussions, students were engaged and took full advantage of the opportunity to engage with me. I signal my strong support for these planned training and development mentorships initiatives that expose promising young people to practical opportunities to hone leadership skills. It was my support of mentoring programs that caused me to include in my first cabinet, beginning in 1992, young men and women who I believed possessed leadership traits. I sought to provide them with the opportunity to grow as leaders by participating at the highest level of national development. Let me say that you are here because someone has seen leadership potential in each of you. It is difficult, if not impossible, to train someone without leadership potential to become an effective leader. Leadership is in many respects an innate gift or aptitude possessed by an individual which causes others to choose to follow him or her and to look to him or to her for leadership. You do not have to be head of an organization, a business, political party, or government to be a leader. Leaders are persons whose views and advice are respected and sought after by other people. A leader could be a member of a family to whom everyone in the family turns for advice, including the head of the family sometimes. Leaders are individuals who may head church groups, choirs, trade unions, neighborhood associations, social clubs, sporting association. You can be a leader simply by influencing other people, including the head of an organization. So none of you should be confused into believing that to be a leader, you must be a head of an organization, a business, or an elected member of parliament. Interestingly, an individual's ability to lead is most frequently identified by others. You don't just wake up and call yourself a leader. Other people determine whether you are a leader. And I'd like to use myself as an example. Long before I ever dreamt of becoming a member of the House of Assembly, a gentleman whose name is Kenneth Major, who lives in Freeport nowadays, from Cooperstown, told me that I would be a member of Parliament one day. I had never even dreamt of that. Later, Lyndon Pinland, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, identified me at the age of 28 to become the national chairman of his party, the Progressive Liberal Party. I had never sought such an office. He sought me out and determined that that's what he wanted me to do. Later still, the people of Cooperstown, North Abaco, decided to make me their candidate for the House of Assembly and told the PLP that's who they wanted. And they elected me. With their continued support, I continued to serve them as an MP. And after I got fired from Mr. Pinland's cabinet in 1984, was expelled from the PLP, denied the right to seek re-election on their ticket, but Cooperstown decided I was their leader. And they re-elected me as an independent member of Parliament. Still later, the Free National Movement would invite me to join that party and to become that party's leader. And with the support of the F&M and the good people, especially here in Marco City, the place where my leadership skills were first tested at the national level, and later with the support of the people of the Bahamas who believe I should lead them, I was privileged to become Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Dear participants, leadership is critical to every aspect of society, be it in the family, in the school, in church, in business, in government, in sports, the community. Leadership requires that an individual ought to be focused and determined to achieve set, predetermined goals. A leader must be able to inspire trust and to instill confidence in others that he can lead and he can help them to achieve what they desire. Leaders must have a clear appreciation for the circumstances in which they work and be able to articulate a strategy to realize the vision, the goals, and the objectives of the group. I believe it is always best to lead by example. In the end, leadership is also about doing. It's not all about talking. Talking is a part of it. Oftentimes you hear a parent say, I wish my girl or my boy was like Joe or like Sally. That would be because that parent would have seen a trait in Joe or Sally that they consider good and positive, something to be emulated, copied, or followed. That is what leaders strive to achieve, to be and to act in ways that cause others to want to be like them and to follow them, to achieve a shared goal or objective. Leadership also requires you to make choices. Good, effective leadership requires courage because very often the choices available to you are very difficult and certainly unpopular ones. If you like to be liked or loved by everyone, or need everyone to be happy with what you do or decisions you make, you are unlikely to be an effective leader. That is why, most especially so in the public sphere, leaders must have a very thick skin also. You must be able to take criticism, sometimes hurtful criticism, without becoming angry or vengeful or distracted. Many decisions made by leaders, including decisions made to ensure equality or fairness or equity for the greater whole, can and does produce dissension and conflict. You see, when you are seeking to improve conditions for all, you might unfavorably impact upon some individuals in the whole. To be fair to all, someone is likely to have to give up something. That means someone is losing something. Take as an example, two children told to share a sandwich. One takes a larger portion than the other. A parent intervenes and insists that both get equal parts. The child who had taken the larger portion may become angry because he is forced to give up a part of the portion he took. so the other child can have an equal portion of that sandwich. Imagine the sandwich in a number of contracts being awarded by the government or a business. Imagine it's the award of a scholarship to scholarships to one household to the exclusion of other households, or a job going to one house and not to others. Or take the best example I know that I can't fix, the taxi plates and the jitney plates. Where some people have a plate, they don't use it. They charge other people for using it, and the other people can't get a plate. If you seek to equalize the situation, then you'll be unfair to somebody, one way or the other. It's a leader's job, though, to get as much information as possible, to consult where necessary, to weigh opinions, to prioritize, and to balance the pros against the cons, and then to make a decision. But to make a decision. It's always easiest to lead when things are good, in good times. A leader's mettle is tested, though, during times of hardship. In my tenure as Prime Minister of the Bahamas, I've led in good times, and I'm now leading in bad times. In each circumstance, though, I've been guided by the fact that I need always to have clarity of mind, singleness of purpose, and strength of character. I've always seek to keep a steady head. You listen, and where you feel criticism is legitimate, you correct your course of action if you can. However, where you believe that the criticism is unwarranted, you move on and simply continue to do your job. We all appreciate the praise of others, but the better leaders simply want to do the best job they can do, irrespective of praise or criticism. Leadership also requires smart and hard work. A lazy person cannot be an effective leader. Effective leaders must always be to work well before everyone else and leave long after everybody else is gone. It requires putting lots of hours thinking, conceiving, planning, organizing, and implementing programs and projects. You must have a solid work ethic to successfully do all these things. This can mean long hours away from your loved ones or your friends. It might mean giving up some of the things you personally enjoy doing, like fishing for me. But leadership is also a very lonely position. Sometimes you can't share your thinking with anybody at all. It is all your burden. And oftentimes, leaders are blamed for actions of others. That's called being responsible and accepting responsibility. Many take credit for good things. Few accept blame for bad things. You know the saying, success has many fathers and mothers. Failure is an orphan, because nobody born that. Honesty and integrity are also critical and important to leadership. You must always perform your duties as leader with the appreciation that you must be accountable for your actions in the current circumstance and the face of history. Leadership means treating people fairly, keeping your hands clean from corruption. It means to be able to inspire people, to persuade others to buy into your vision or the program, and to be principled. I urge each of you in this program to take full advantage, therefore, of this opportunity provided to you. Shivago Lang is an excellent example of a role model for all of you. He's been identified by many groups as a leader beginning from a very young age. He's elected president of the College of Bahamas Union of Students, served as a youth pastor in his church, was elected as a member of parliament, and selected to serve in the cabinet of the Bahamas by myself, the youngest person to do so in our country since independence. He's used his experience as an example for you here in Grand Bahama to emulate. He wants to see many of you follow his path and contribute to our country's development by being leaders for positive change, leaders for development, and leaders to make the Bahamas a better place for all of us. I have every confidence that you will learn those lessons well by your participation in these programs. It is also my understanding your group will once again travel to Nassau as part of your exposure. I look forward to having you visit with me when you do. I also wish to say to you that all of us who are in positions of leadership have to consciously and continuously be looking for others whose job it will be to replace us and to be better at the job than we were when we did the job. Thank you and good morning.